Some family moments stick with you. But for me, the one where I announced my dream lake house purchase, only to have my sister immediately declare it hers, still boils my blood. It was the moment I realized I wasn't just buying a house. I was buying a war. I can still feel the flush of pride, the sheer exhaustion mixed with triumph, when Nathan and I finally bought our dream lake house. Years of 80-hour work weeks, meticulous budgeting, sacrificing everything. It was ours. A sanctuary on Lake Michigan for our kids, Chloe and Mason. 3 bedrooms, a dock surrounded by pine trees, the most incredible sunsets you could imagine. We'd searched for 2 years. This was it. So you can imagine my anticipation that evening at my parents' dinner, ready to share our big news. The pot roast was bland, Dad was complaining about golf. Typical family stuff. Until I dropped the bomb. Nathan and I closed on a property last week. A lake house in Michigan. We're really excited about it. Sophia, my sister, who'd always been the golden child, the one whose wedding my parents funded while Nathan and I eloped at City Hall because we couldn't afford anything else. She leaned forward, her eyes gleaming. Her fork stopped halfway to her mouth. A lake house? You bought a whole lake house. She didn't miss a beat. Oh, this will be perfect for my kids' holidays. When can we start using it? Just like that. Not a congratulations. Not a wow, that's amazing. Just pure, unadulterated entitlement. And my parents, they just beamed. Oh, how wonderful. The grandchildren will love it. Everyone can enjoy it. That's what family properties are for. Now hand over the keys so we can come as we please. No sense in it sitting empty when the grandkids could be making memories, right? I felt Nathan squeeze my hand under the table, a silent warning. But I was already steamrolled. My lake house. Commandeered. Before the ink on the deed had even dried. Sophia was already pulling out her phone to check her calendar, and Mom was listing all the weekends they'd want to visit. The first month wasn't a total disaster. Sophia took her family up one weekend while we were still painting. She called once to ask about extra towels. Harmless, right? I tried to tell myself that. But then I went up alone to install curtain rods, and that's when the cracks started to show. Missing wine glasses, mysterious stains on towels, a fresh chip in the bathroom sink, scuff marks on the hardwood, outdoor cushions left out to bleach in the sun. Each little detail wasn't catastrophic, but it was a tiny, infuriating scratch on my soul. It was the casual disregard, the unspoken message that this wasn't mine. It was a free-for-all. I cleaned, I organized, I tried to reclaim the space, but driving home, I just kept telling myself, family shares. Don't be selfish. I was still trying to minimize my own feelings, you see. That's what years of being the other child does to you. I convinced myself I was overreacting. Then came the day Nathan and I had been dreaming of, our first actual family weekend at the lake house with Chloe and Mason. Chloe, our 9-year-old, couldn't wait to kayak. Mason, just 6, was obsessed with catching frogs. We loaded up the car, buzzing with excitement, for the 3-hour drive. We pulled into the driveway and my heart sank. Sophia's SUV was already there. She was on the deck, wine glass in hand, watching her kids cannonball off my dock. What are you doing here? I asked, my voice barely a whisper, trying desperately to keep it level. She didn't even glance at me. Can't you see I'm here? Get lost. Come back another time. The audacity. I was shaking. Sophia, we planned this. I told everyone at dinner. Then my dad sauntered out, wearing swim trunks I didn't recognize. Some people just need to respect who's already using the property, he said, looking straight at me. You can't just show up when someone else is enjoying their time. I stared at him, bewildered. It's my house, Dad. He gave me that look, the one that always told me I was being unreasonable, selfish, ungrateful. It's the family's house, Olivia. Don't be selfish. Nathan's hand was on my shoulder, a comforting weight. But it couldn't stop the tears welling in Chloe's eyes, or Mason's heartbroken sobs from the back seat. We drove home in utter silence, our dream weekend shattered. It happened again 3 weeks later. Then twice in August. Each time, Sophia treating my lake house like her personal vacation rental, leaving it a complete disaster. Sand tracked everywhere, wet towels wadded up on furniture, dishes piled high. One time I found permanent marker on the brand new dining table I'd spent weeks refinishing. The final straw came in September. I'd planned a surprise anniversary weekend for Nathan, new sheets, his favorite foods, a bottle of expensive champagne we'd been saving. We arrived to find every light in our house blazing. Sophia had thrown a party. 8 adults, a dozen kids running wild. Someone had moved our master bedroom furniture to turn it into a playroom. Our special champagne? Gone. Empty beer bottles everywhere. My voice shook as I told her, you need to leave. She just laughed. We're in the middle of a party. Come back tomorrow. We spent our anniversary in a Holiday Inn that smelled of chlorine. I cried myself to sleep that night, Nathan holding me tight. The next morning the sadness had burned away, replaced by a cold, searing rage. Nathan was scrolling through his phone. "What are you looking at?" I asked. He turned the screen. It was Sophia, gleefully posting photos on social media from our amazing lake house getaway with friends. Strangers partying on my deck, using my dishes, sleeping in my beds. One photo of someone doing a cannonball off my dock, captioned, "Living our best life." And my mother? She commented with heart emojis. Crystallized for me then. Not a decision exactly, but a brutal acknowledgement of reality. My family wasn't going to change. They saw nothing wrong with this. Sophia was proud of it. We drove home in silence, the lie I told Chloe about our wonderful weekend burning a hole in my stomach. I promised myself I'd be honest with my kids, and here I was, teaching them to pretend everything was fine. It wasn't. By the way, if you're still hooked on this roller coaster ride of family drama, hit that subscribe button. I promise there are more wild stories where this came from. Then October arrived. And with it, Sophia's grand announcement at family dinner. She and Ethan had bought a 30-foot camper. Top of the line. Full kitchen. Sleeping for 8. She was practically vibrating with pride, showing off the pictures. "We're going to travel the country. The kids will see all 50 states. A little spark ignited in my head. "That's amazing, Sophia," I said, keeping my voice light. "Actually, Nathan and I were thinking of a road trip for winter break. Any chance we could borrow it?" The air in the room dropped 10 degrees. Seriously, I felt it. "No," she snapped. Her face was ice. "It's mine. I don't share. Plus, I don't want your dirty kids near it. Chloe and Mason would trash it in 5 minutes." My kids? Dirty? I saw red. I looked at my parents, waiting for them to deploy their usual family shares everything rhetoric. But Dad was suddenly fascinated by his mashed potatoes. Mom was refilling wine glasses. They said nothing. "That's interesting," I said, my voice dangerously calm. "Because everyone's been using my lake house without cleaning it. And when it's my turn to ask for something, this is what I get." My mother's head snapped up. "Yes, and the lake house is different." "How is it different?" I shot back. "You bought it knowing the family would enjoy it," Dad interjected, finally looking up. "Sophia bought the camper for her immediate family. Completely different situations." Nathan started to protest, but I squeezed his arm. Something inside me had finally irrevocably snapped. It was cold. It was clear. "Fine," I said. And the family went back to their dinner, oblivious. They had no idea. Absolutely no idea what I was going to do next. The drive home was quiet, but my mind was buzzing. I made calls. To a property management company specializing in vacation rentals. To a locksmith. To the lawyer who handled our initial purchase. By the time we pulled into our driveway, I had a plan. The property manager, Diana, was a force of nature. She walked through the house, meticulously noting the wear and tear, which we both knew was Sophia's wreckage. "You could easily get $1,500 a weekend in peak season," she said. $2,500 for holiday weeks. This location is prime. Even off-season, people love fall colors and winter ice fishing is huge. I signed the contract that afternoon. By Friday, my lake house was listed on every major platform. The calendar filled almost instantly. Thanksgiving was booked for $3,000. Someone wanted the entire month of December for a work retreat. Then came the locksmith. As he changed every single lock. The keys I'd trustingly given my parents and Sophia months ago now useless. I felt a profound shift. Each click of the lock wasn't just securing a door. It was securing my boundaries. It was a declaration. I was no longer the family doormat. I was demanding the respect I had always deserved, but never insisted upon. The locksmith, an older man named Victor, made small talk. "Beautiful property," he said. "Smart move renting it out. Had a customer last year, similar situation. Family kept using his cabin without asking. He changed the locks. Best decision he ever made." I wondered how many variations of this story existed. Victor handed me the new keys, solid and heavy in my palm. "These are good locks. Nobody's getting in without your permission." The finality of that statement should have made me sad. Instead, it felt like relief. Then came the calls. I informed my parents. "Just so you know, I've made some changes with the lake house. It's now a rental property. If you want to use it, you'll need to book through the management company, just like everyone else." Silence. Then, "What do you mean rental property?" my mom finally shrieked. "I mean, I'm renting it out to paying guests. The management company handles everything. There's a family discount, of course, 10%. "Olivia, this is ridiculous. You can't do that. What about family time? That house is for all of us." "No, Mom," I said, my voice steady. "That house is mine. I bought it. I pay the mortgage, the insurance, the taxes, and all the maintenance. I'm tired of it being treated like a free-for-all while I foot the bill for repairs." My dad got on the phone. "You're being incredibly selfish. What will people think?" I don't care what people think, I fired back. I care that I bought a property I couldn't use because Sophia trashed it and treated it like her personal hotel. We'll talk about this at dinner Sunday, he said and hung up. Sunday dinner? Oh, it was an explosion. My mother's face was beet red, shaking as she demanded I reverse my decision. Sophia called me petty, vindictive, cruel. You're punishing my children for no reason. My kids ask about the lake house every week. What am I supposed to tell them? Tell them their aunt is running a business, I replied, calm as a lake. If you want to book it, the calendar's online. We're not paying to stay in your house. Then you're not staying there. Then surprisingly, Ethan, Sophia's husband, spoke up. You know what, Sophia? Maybe Olivia has a point. We have been using it pretty heavily without contributing anything. Sophia turned on him like a viper. Whose side are you on? My father stood, his chair scraping. This family has become a disappointment. Olivia, you're teaching your children that money matters more than relationships. No, Dad, I said, grabbing my purse. I'm teaching them that boundaries matter. That you can't let people walk all over you just because you share DNA. Nathan, the kids, and I walked out mid-sentence, my mother still screeching about how ungrateful I was. The hate text started that night, paragraph after paragraph from Sophia about how I was jealous, vindictive, how I destroyed the family, how I was punishing her because she wouldn't let me use her camper. I blocked her. My parents tried the guilt trip. My mother called, crying, saying I was tearing the family apart. Couldn't I just be reasonable? She pleaded. I told her calmly, I'm managing my asset responsibly. You're welcome to visit when there's availability, but you'll need to book and pay like everyone else. She hung up. Thanksgiving came, and for the first time ever, we weren't invited to my parents' house. The silence was deafening, yes, but it was also liberating. Nathan, Chloe, Mason, and I went to our lake house, blocked off on the rental calendar for the whole week. It was the best Thanksgiving I'd ever had. We cooked, we walked, we played games by the fire. Chloe learned to identify bird species. Mason collected pine cones. Nobody demanded anything. Nobody left dishes in the sink. Nobody tracked mud. December was fully booked, and the income was substantial. Diana, my property manager, told me it was booking faster than any property she'd ever seen. 5-star reviews across the board, she said. Guests raved about the cleanliness, the thoughtful touches, the fully stocked kitchen. They loved the welcome basket her team put together: local honey, coffee, homemade cookies. The contrast was stark. Strangers treated my property with more respect and gratitude than my own family ever had. The lake house was thriving, generating substantial income, earning 5-star reviews. It wasn't just a house anymore. It was a testament to setting boundaries. Christmas was quiet, just us. It was peaceful. In January, we had an unexpected visitor. Ethan, Sophia's husband, showed up at our door. Nathan let him in, and he sat awkwardly on our couch. I wanted to apologize, he said, his voice quiet. Sophia's behavior has been inexcusable. So has your parents. I've been trying to talk to Sophia, but she won't listen. He paused, looking genuinely uncomfortable. For what it's worth, I think you did the right thing. We were taking advantage. All of us. It was a small moment, but it meant something. Not enough to change things, but a crack in the wall of denial. February brought the real fallout. Sophia, ever the tactician, tried to book the lake house under a fake name. Luckily, Diana, the property manager, caught it immediately. Sarah Mitchell, different email, different phone number, but the credit card Sophia's, she said. Deny it, I told her, without a second's hesitation. Already done, she replied. Sophia exploded. She actually showed up at my workplace, screaming in the parking lot about how I was keeping her children from making memories. Security had to escort her off the property. It was mortifying but also empowering. This was a battle I was finally winning. Then, in March, my wise little Chloe came home with a school project about fairness. She'd written an essay on standing up for yourself, even when people you love treat you badly. Her teacher gave her an A and called her thinking mature. Mrs. Caldwell asked if something happened that made me think about this, Chloe said at dinner. I told her about the lake house. I told her that sometimes family doesn't treat you right. And it's okay to set boundaries. That loving someone doesn't mean letting them hurt you. She looked at me with her serious 9-year-old eyes. Was that okay? I had to swallow past the lump in my throat. That was more than okay, sweetheart. I'm so proud of you. Nathan took my hand across the table. I'm proud of you too. April brought true clarity. I was reviewing the rental statements. Almost $40,000 in revenue over 6 months. $22,000 in profit, straight into Chloe and Mason's college funds. My children's futures were being secured by the very property my family thought they deserved free access to. This wasn't just a house. It was generational wealth in the making. All because I stopped letting people take advantage. Nathan came home to find me surrounded by spreadsheets. You okay? He asked. Better than okay, I beamed. We talked late into the night, dreaming of early retirement, a mountain cabin, maybe even a property for each kid to inherit. Every scenario relied on the same foundation: boundaries. A year later, rumors reached me. Sophia and Ethan were struggling. The camper unused. Ethan passed over for promotion. Part of me, a tiny, almost imperceptible part, felt a twinge of guilt. But then I'd remember her sneering, "Get lost on my own deck." My dad's "Don't be selfish, Olivia." My mother's dismissive "Yes." And the guilt evaporated. Then my mother called in July, her voice trembling. "Sophia's struggling, Olivia. Ethan lost his job. They might lose the house. You need to help her." She wanted $20,000. $20,000. I actually laughed. I couldn't help it. The sheer breathtaking irony. "This isn't funny, Olivia," she shrieked. "You're right, Mom. It's not. But it is ironic, isn't it? She told me my kids were dirty, said she didn't share her camper. Now she needs 20 grand. She's your sister. She's an adult who made choices, Mom. Just like I made choices. Mine had good consequences. Hers didn't. So you're saying no?" "I'm saying I'm not giving her $20,000. But tell her this. If she gives me a sincere apology for how she treated me and my family, I'll let her rent the lake house at cost for a week. No profit. Just expenses. About $800. She can have a nice vacation during this difficult time." My mother sputtered. $800? She doesn't have $800. Then I guess she doesn't want a vacation badly enough. "That's my offer, Mom. Take it or leave it." She hung up, of course. Nathan was right. Sophia didn't want help. She wanted rescue. August brought an unexpected development. Ethan reached out through LinkedIn. He'd found a new, better job. "Thank you for not bailing us out financially," he wrote. It was a wake-up call. "Sophia and I had some hard conversations. We've sold the camper, we're downsizing. Your refusal to enable us was tough love we didn't know we needed," Nathan said. "That's more maturity than anyone in your family has shown this entire time." He wasn't wrong. Then, a year and a half after the storm, a small crack appeared in the wall. My mother called, her voice softer, smaller than I'd ever heard it. My father had a health scare. He was okay, but it had made them think. "We've been talking," she whispered. "And we want to apologize. We treated you terribly. You had every right to take control." I didn't cry, though I wanted to. "Thank you for saying that," I managed. "Could we talk? Maybe come visit sometime." "I'd like that," she said. The week they came for dinner was tense, but Mason showed Grandpa his rock collection. Chloe read from her nature journals, and slowly the ice thawed. Before they left, my father pulled me aside. "I'm proud of you, Olivia," he said, his voice thick. "I should have said that a year ago. You built something and you protected it. That takes strength." Coming from him, those words hit harder than I ever expected. Sophia? She never apologized. She never will. But that's okay. I didn't need her apology to move forward. The proof was in Chloe and Mason's laughter as they kayaked on our lake, in our growing financial security, in the peace I felt when I walked through my own front door. We purchased a second property, a small cabin in the mountains of Tennessee, purely for our family's use, where our parents and Nathan's family were welcomed and respected our space. The lake house still sits on Lake Michigan. Those incredible sunsets still paint the sky. But now it generates income, creates opportunities, and serves our family. Without being taken for granted. I bought it as a dream. My family turned it into a nightmare. I transformed it into an asset, a legacy. And that journey taught me everything about self-respect, boundaries, and the profound difference between true family loyalty and pure dysfunction. When people ask if I regret how things turned out, I tell them honestly. I regret that my family made it necessary. I regret that Sophia chose her ego over our relationship, and that my parents took so long to see past their golden child. But do I regret standing up for myself? Do I regret protecting my investment, securing my children's future, and teaching them that self-respect isn't selfish? Not for a single second. The lake house now stands as a powerful reminder. Kindness without boundaries is exploitation. Generosity without respect is being taken advantage of. Family dynamics don't excuse bad behavior. And sometimes, the hardest choices are the ones that save you. Sophia wanted a free vacation spot. My parents wanted a family commune. They all wanted the benefits without the cost, the access without the responsibility. But what they got instead was a clear message. This house, this life, my life is mine to manage, mine to protect, and mine to share. Strictly on my terms. And that, my friends, makes all the difference. Have you ever had to draw a line in the sand with family? What did you do and how did it turn out? Let me know in the comments below. I really want to hear your stories.